Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad HAZZIM bin OTHMAN. We from Group 3 will be explain about case study chemical waste dumping in Sungai Kim. Now, I will tell about background in these cases. On 7 March 2019, a significant amount of chemical dumping was reported in Sungai Kim, Pasir Gudang, Johor Bahru. According to the news outlet, it was reported that prior to the incident, two schools, SK Pasir Puteh and SMK Pasir Puteh, had lodged a complaint to the Pasir Gudang Fire and Rescue Station and Johor Bahru District Health Office about the chemical smell detected around the school compound. On this of the incident, the Special Force of Hazardous Chemical Hazmat and firefighter determined that there seemed to be gas leakage around the school compound. These schools were found near the industrial area. There are 5,848 victims that have been suffered by the chemical gas leakage, and 951 victims have been admitted to the hospital, where about 21 of them have been transferred to the ICU. In these cases, the waste was dumped under the bridge that was connecting Taman Pasir Puteh and Taman Kota Masai. This thing is done by a tanker lorry under an illegal tire recycling company dumped 20 to 40 ton of chemical waste under a bridge. The affected area was found to be approximately half a kilometer away from the first affected school, which is SK Taman Pasir Puteh and SMK Pasir Puteh. Malaysia's Fire and Rescue Department Hazmat team was deployed to Johor, where they collected 20 air, water and soil samples daily for real-time analysis. The result of the analysis sample taken from Sungai Kim show that all contain the organic solvent, which is benzene, toluene, xylene, alkylbenzylene, limonene, acrylonitrile and others. From these cases, total of 111 schools were immediately ordered to be closed through the school break until 31 March.
Factor that cause the pollution in the Kim River is due to illegal waste dumping. The pollution is caused by the illegal toxic waste dumping. The water becomes polluted and toxic due to the presence of poisonous substances like xylene, toluene, acrolein and others. It had been discharged illegally from the nearest factory into the river. As Allah created human on the earth, He ordered that we should preserve this habitat, do good as Allah has done good to you, and do not corrupt in the land. Allah does not love those who corrupt. In Al-Quran, Allah said, "Seek not mischief in the land. Allah not love those who do mischief." Al-Qasas verses 77. Through the investigation, those chemical wastes were dumped from a lorry tanker into the river. There are several chemical wastes found in the Kim River, such as acrolein. Acrolein is a colorless yellowish liquid with a piercing, disagreeable odor that causes urine. It is used in the making of plastic, drug, and tear gas. Acrolein can affect when breathed in and by passing through the skin. Overexposure of the acrolein may cause death. Acrylonitrile. Acrylonitrile is an organic compound with a colorless volatile liquid, yellow in commercial sample due to impurities and has a pungent odor of garlic or onion. Widely used in industry to produce plastic, resin, rubber, elastomer and synthetic rubber. Health effects may occur immediately after exposure to acrylonitrile. It causes irritation and blistering when in contact with skin. It also irritates eyes, nose, and throat. High exposure of acrylonitrile may cause the chronic health effects such as cancer and reproductive hazard. Then toluene. Toluene is a chemical that is colorless with distinctive smell like paint or thinner. It is used in the making of paint, thinner, fingernail polish, lacquer, adhesive and rubber, printing and leather tanning process. Health effect of toluene caused from the exposure with this chemical by inhalation, skin contact and eyes contact. Long-term effect may cause the chemical health effects such as greater hearing loss, color vision, also harm the nervous system. With high concentration of toluene, exposure may harm the kidney.
The next chemical that have been found in BINTI river pollution is D-limonene. D-limonene usually used as the primary citrus peel scents in the manufacture of food and some drugs, such as flavoring to reduce the bitter taste of alkaloid and as a fragrance in perfumery, lotion and other care products. This compound is classified as highly flammable and insoluble in water. The health problems that may occur during the impact of this compound are vomiting, hematuria, unconsciousness, and shallow respiration. The next chemical compound is ethylbenzene. Ethylbenzene is primarily used to make another chemical such as styrene. Ethylbenzene also classified as highly flammable compound that can be harmful to our health. People who are exposed to this chemical compound are tend to be affected by eye and throat irritation. Most serious symptom from this exposure is dizziness and decreased movement. The last chemical compound is xylene. This compound is colorless and have a sweet odor. The compound is primarily a synthetic chemical and usually can be obtained in a crude petroleum. The several signs or symptoms that can be detected from this compound exposure are eye irritation, headache, dizziness, fatigue, vomiting, and stomach discomfort.
Waste in the BINTI River, Pasir Gudang, Malaysia have given many impacts. First, health impact. According to Malaysia's Environment Minister Yeo Bee Yin, she said that a number of chemicals had been detected from samples taken. Regarding this issue, as what have been mentioned before, all those chemicals are possible impacts to humans' health. Exposure to large quantities of chemicals primarily affects the nervous system. Symptoms may include headache and nausea. Besides, some of chemicals may irritate the skin, eyes, and respiratory tract severely. Second, environmental impact. It also has a huge impact on environment. Among the effects are air pollution, soil pollution, loss biodiversity, depletion of groundwater, and also affects the water reduction quality. And third, this tragedy has a socio-economic impact as well. Most of the residents in the area had to move to a better and safer place. Also, there are some who lost their livelihood.
The aftermath is never easy, especially when involving hazardous chemicals. This tragedy hits the reality where several thousands of people have fallen ill due to some people whom are irresponsible and thoughtless for dumping chemical waste in a river. Negative consequences may happen by these terrible actions and maybe in a long-term effect. Within a week after the dumping incident, more than 2,700 citizens were confirmed to have fallen ill. Most of them had difficulty in breathing, dizziness, nausea, and vomiting outbreaks. Therefore, more than 100 of schools, kindergartens, and high institutions were forced to close temporarily for 2 weeks. Some people even moved far away and migrated from the contaminated area. Apart from that, the local fishermen sales have been affected as well. The local residents were anxious and afraid if they bought contaminated fish from the river. As there was no buyers, the fishermen's source of incomes have depleted rapidly. The impacts can be extreme and severe, as it was reported around 20 to 40 tons of chemicals were dumped illegally into the river. A lot is in it. Also, the aftermath is obviously have to clean up. This effort is to ensure the public safety, as the Minister of Environment said 900 tons of soil and 1,500 of polluted water had been cleaned up in 1.5 km of contaminated area. The Malaysian police also arrested 9 people whom are responsible for this chemical pollution controversy, and they were punished by the law accordingly.
Next is the solution to chemical waste dumping in Sungai Kim Kim. Basically, several agencies took part in solving this problem. First, as the incident happened, Department of Environment immediately hiring contractors for the cleaning up process. 3 contractors were assigned for this action. This cleaning up process got funding of 6.4 million ringgit to clean up the 1.5 kilometer stretch of river. Malaysia's Fire and Rescue Department collected 20 samples of air, water and soil for real-time analysis, and 9 chemicals such as benzene, acrolein, acrylonitrile, hydrogen chloride, methane, toluene, xylene, ethyl benzene, and D-limonene were found. Lord Chemical Titan Berhad Company also took part in rescuing the victims of the chemical waste dumping. They sent 20 employees, ambulance, and equipment to school and home affected. Other than that, police take action by doing roadblocks for major roads to and from the industrial state to control movement and dumping of hazardous chemicals.
That solution, and the most important thing is we need to educate the public through the school and community awareness about the cause, chemical hazard and danger incurred by illegal dumping. We need to continue our education effort on proper waste disposal and practicing the 3R, which is reduce, reuse and recycle. This 3R is a core component of an effective waste management system and play a vital role in protecting the environment. So when we are practicing this method, we can stabilize our nature to become beautiful and harmonious again. For another solution is the environmental authorities together with the local government need to set lower disposal fees at waste management site to encourage factory or people to use lawfully stipulated waste disposal system. At the same time, the relevant regulatory bodies against illegal dumping must set higher fine to discourage the habit. This can be done by redefining the fines and punishment for illegal dumping, as well as the licensing and charge rate for dumping service. For instance, it has been cited that in some areas it may be less costly to illegal dump and pay a fine than using legitimate waste disposal channels. By employing this strategy, societies can become less vulnerable to illegal dumping.
To make this short, tons of untreated chemical waste such as toluene, xylene and acrolein had been discharged illegally from the nearest factories into the Kim Kim River. This tragedy had suffered a big loss when more than 100 schools were closed for 2 weeks, over 5,800 victims were treated, and more than 900 victims warded. And the biggest loss was when more than 10 million ringgit Malaysia had been allocated only for the cleaning operation. So why this happened? In this case, waste dumping happened due to the lack of ethic and responsibility between the factory management and also the lorry drivers who irrationally dumped the untreated waste into the river without considering the consequence that might be happen after that. But without pointing a finger to anyone, I am strongly agree that everyone should contribute equally to ensure this illegal dumping can be fight back. We should aware that this small contribution not only can save the environment but also can save the life and ecosystem of our planet. Allah created human on the earth. He ordered the human to preserve this habitat as it provides many natural sources for our life. As Allah has mentioned in the Quran, eat and drink from the provision of Allah and do not commit abuse on the earth or spreading corruption. From Surah Al-Baqarah verse 60. So whoever you are, Love the earth as you would love yourself.